All right, and why did you commit the theft at Walmart?
Time I was just really bad in the head.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 1237 and 2024 CR 1238, State of Texas versus Eric Nathaniel Cantu. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brian
The
Powers,
defense?
Your Honor.
All right, and counsel, you need to be over there. And for the defense,
Brian Powers, Your Honor.
and are you Eric Cantu?
Sure.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery in each of these cases and reviewed that discovery with your client?
I believe we have, Judge.
And each cause number, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Cantu, did you review the documents entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment in each of the cause numbers?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented in each cause number?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cantu, did you review the documents entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand in each cause you're charged with evading arrest detention with a vehicle? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, in each cause number, the court could sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Two, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No,
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, sir.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
In each case, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
All right, in each cause number, according to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. The cases will run concurrently. State will take in consideration 723-118, 711-738. There's to be restitution in 723-118 and 711-738. There's to be a 2-year driver's license suspension. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, sir.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
I don't believe so, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 7 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, no contact with the complainant or Walmart, and there's to be no driving as a condition of probation. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, sir.
Then in the cause number ending in 37, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And the cause number ending in 38, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. Speak to the case, stating exhibit number 1 with all its attachments.
All right, off the record for a moment. So everyone, excuse me, in the box, everyone, you all need to learn how to whisper. It amazes me that when people are before the court, you can whisper, but you can't whisper when you're not before the court. If you cannot whisper, then you cannot talk while we're on the record. Does everybody understand?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so we're back on the record. Did you review the documents entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes,
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
yes,
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
yes,
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt if you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We're requesting a PSI, Your Honor.
All right, why?
Your Honor, with regards to the last recommendation for Eric, with regards to the state is asking that he not be able to drive. Currently, he's employed in a position where he delivers, he's delivering food for funds. He has a dependent. We've also have an affidavit from Dr. Punjabi, which we can provide it after the PSI with regards to the doctor's opinions on his progress with therapy, how he's doing, and his ability to get out, be able to drive and be a responsible driver from here on out.
Okay, I don't understand how a PSI is going to tell me whether I should let him drive or not.
We thought having some more background might be able to assist, Judge, with
If
that.
y'all want to give me background, you can.
Well, at this point, Judge, as far as the state is recommending a 2-year driver's license suspension,
Mhm.
we would like to apply for an occupational driver's license so that Eric could continue to work as he has been doing. And so.
I
that's
mean,
it.
well, the occupational license is something that would come at a different setting, not at the PSI, because y'all have agreed to a license suspension.
Correct, Judge. But what I'm saying is afterwards, if the court was allowing Eric to be able to drive for employment purposes, to be able to do that, then we would seek an occupational at that point in time.
All right, so I don't understand. If y'all want a PSI, I will give you one. I just don't understand what different information the court would have that you would want me to have that can't be told to me now.
Well, Your Honor, if that would be the case, then.
I mean, if
basically-
y'all want a PSI, I'll give you one, but I just don't understand what information. State, will you have any objections to defense telling me what information he has? Or do you want a witness here for that? All right, so do you wish to have a PSI or no?
Your Honor, if the court feels it would be a futile gesture in this point, then I'm happy to tell you that, Eric has been extremely active with regards to his therapy, trying to redress the trauma that he suffered for this. Over the last few months, he has been working as a delivery driver, and he's been doing very well at that. I've spoken to the mother of his child who says that he is actively contributing to basically her welfare as well as the welfare of the child. So, I would just ask that the court take that into consideration so that Eric can continue to do what he's doing. If the court feels that there's some other form of monitoring, but we feel that taking away his ability to earn a living the way that he has been, it would be of more detriment than anything else. So we would ask if the court is going to assess any type of monitoring sanctions that they do so, but not at the cost of him being able to drive and earn the living the way that he has been.
All right, let's start with this first. My understanding, he's currently on GPS.
Yes.
All right, state, do you have any objections to the removal of GPS? All right, so GPS is going to be removed. Now, the next thing we need to address is his ability to drive. This is the court's concern. He has 2 evading arrests with the vehicle. 1, an accident occurred. I think a car was damaged. So why should he be driving? Driving, I understand that everybody, if you pass the driver's test, you have a right to, take that license and drive, but it's sort of a privilege. And if you're not abiding by the rules, why should you be allowed to drive?
Understood, Judge. And if I may, as of recently, he actually was pulled over for a turn signal violation. The work that he's been doing with Dr. Punjabi and therapy with regards to his fight or flight mechanisms, to the point of where whenever he saw the red and blue lights, he didn't hesitate. He pulled over, he was compliant. It was a warning, but just to kind of show that the progress that he has been making. We believe that the stuff that he's been doing with the doctor to try to redress these issues, he's doing well with it. And we just ask that he be given the opportunity to show the court that he can do it. And he's very well aware that if he messes up, he's looking at 10 years. And he's here today showing accountability for the actions that he's taken. So we asked the judge that he look at the growth that he has been making. I provided, I believe, the court with 2 letters from Dr. Punjabi in the past to show the efforts that he's been making. We ask that they take that into consideration, allow him to continue to make a living, do what he's supposed to be doing as a member of society. And we don't believe that this court is ever going to be troubled with Eric again. However, he's under the he's understanding of what could happen if he does mess up, but we don't believe that it will come to that.
All right, and what is this theft case about?
That was a shoplifting last year, Walmart, Your Honor.
Okay. Right, state. All right, is there anything you wish to say?
Yes, when this happened at the time, I was just scared. I was sorry to the person. I never want to go through this ever again in my life.
Well, why did you continue to drive?
Drive.
No. I mean, well, let's backtrack a little bit. Scared of what?
I was just, at the time, just a lot of things were going through. I couldn't help myself, but also there wasn't like a safe place for me to pull over.
No. I mean, according to what I read in the police reports and the stipulations, one is playing loud music, which I don't understand why people think that everybody wants to hear your music. So that is an ordinance violation to be playing music so loud that it's damaging to others' ears, which I've seen people do. So an officer's trying to pull you over from that. So why didn't you pull over?
At the time, I got triggered because the way he came on the side of my door, because there was an accident that happened to me. I went through a lot, like in 2022. I just got triggered by it and I got scared, and I didn't understand why he was doing that. And I just,
All right, and then the other case where you're just outright speeding, they're not trying to pull you over for loud music, you're speeding.
yes. I don't want to make excuses or anything. I'm sorry. I never want to go through this ever again. I'm not just sitting here doing nothing. I'm trying to get help from it. I'm trying to do better.
No. I understand that you've made progress, right? But I'm trying to figure out in that case where you're speeding and they're trying to pull you over for speeding because you're going very fast. Why didn't you pull over?
Well, I was in a city that I wasn't familiar with, and
It's Universal City,
Okay.
Judge. And it was an unmarked, it was basically a blacked out patrol vehicle that was behind him.
No, but why didn't you pull over?
so I'm just paranoid because I'm always on my phone, not while driving, but when I'm at home, I'm like looking at videos of people impersonating. It's a pretty common thing, and I didn't see police on the car. I've never seen like a truck cop, like a F-150 truck cop. I've never seen that. I was in a city I wasn't familiar with, and I'm sorry that this will never happen again.
All right, and why did you commit the theft at Walmart?
At the time, I was just really bad in the head. I was not getting help.
It was a matter of a few months after, Judge, after he got awoken from his coma. This was early, I believe early last year.
All right, so why did you commit a theft at Walmart?
I was just not thinking clearly. It won't happen again. I promise you it won't.
All right, any other questions?
Nor the defense, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. In each cause number, there's a $2,000 fine. It'll be probated. The cause numbers were one concurrently. Does anyone want to speak towards length of probation?
And we have no objection with that, Your Honor.
All right. 7 years deferred adjudication. There'll be a removal of GPS. There'll be the defensive driving course. Taking consideration cause number 723-118, 711-738. There's to be rest in 723-118 to Tiffany Johnson. That's with the Y. And there's to be restitution in 711-738 to Walmart. There's to be a 2-year driver's license suspension. How old are you?
19.
So how far did you go in school?
I graduated high school actually early when I was 16.
All right, so what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
So right now, the therapists, the doctors that I go see, I have a pending scholarship to be a civil rights advocate. So that's what I want to do. I also want to purchase properties and have income coming in through that.
So what are you going to do with your schooling? Are you planning on doing something else with your schooling or no? Like, are you planning on going to college? You're going to
Yes.
trade school? What are you doing?
College.
All right. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if he's enrolled in college. Do you have any children?
Yes,
How many?
1,
Age?
9 months.
All right. So 100 hours will be waived if he's in college, enrolled at least 6 hours. Usually I require 8, but you have a 9-month-old. I'm going to ask for parenting classes. And then once those parenting classes are complete, the other 100 hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. If your drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
You'll be clean, Your Honor.
No. What are the results going to be? Because your attorney is not going to take the test. You will.
Clean.
All right. There's going to be a UA today. By 4 p.m. Yes.
Set up and everything. How we do that, we do it station.
Okay. So there's going to be a UA Wednesday. Before 12 p.m. You're welcome. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. regular random UAs, field visits, one time per month for 4 months. Then at probation's discretion. And there's to be no driving. I'm not gonna say no driving throughout the length of probation, but there's gonna be no driving until the court decides to allow you to drive. So your attorney will need to approach on that at a later date. Do you understand?
Yes,
So I'm gonna say no driving until further notice. And counsel, if you ever feel that, yes, he needs to start driving, then you need to file a motion to let the state know, and I'll hear a party's argument on it. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal in each of these cause numbers? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
yes,
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. In this court, in order to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel as though the probation officer is not addressing that issue, you can always come into court. Do you understand?
yes.
All right, good luck to you. Just have a seat in probation. We'll go over conditions with you. All right, on this, the defense has filed a motion for a bond reduction. State, have you had a chance to review?
I did review, yes, Your Honor.
All right, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 6480, State of Texas versus Kevin Victor Wright. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Anthony Cantrell for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Wright?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense has filed a motion for a bond reduction. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, this case is presently set for trial on November 4th. My client has a $75,000 bond presently on aggravated robbery case. So we'd ask the court to consider a bond of $25,000. That's even is a lot of money for my client, but that's something we could possibly afford and post bond on. I would most likely post a bond on this case. I feel very confident it's going to come to court. I think he has a very good defense in this case. If you'd like, I can ask questions about his financial.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, please.
Kevin Wright.
All right, defense.
Mr. Wright, do you have any financial positions such as stocks, bonds, bank accounts, where you could sell and post $75,000 bonds?
No, sir.
Do you have any real property, including land, housing, or anything like that you could sell and post a bond?
No, sir.
The people who would help you right now would be your mother, and is it a girlfriend?
Yes, yes, sir.
And have they been trying for the last 4 or 5 months to come up with some money?
Yes, yes, sir.
And they just haven't been able to come up with at least 7,500 or even half of that. Try
Correct,
to get a bond for you.
correct.
So because of your condition right now, you're indigent
Yes,
and not able to afford a 75 or even a $50,000 bond.
correct.
If you were bond was reduced, would you come to court and defend yourself on the charges that have been assessed against you?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Pass, please.
State, any questions?
Yes, have you spoken with your mother or other family members, and have they gone to any bondsmen?
As of like, for the $75,000 bond?
Yes.
Yes, they can't afford it though.
Have they gone to them?
No,
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, any other questions?
No, Your Honor, not this time.
All right. So have you ever used any drugs in the past?
such as like tobacco.
No
No.
marijuana?
Yes, I have.
All right, so marijuana and what else? And I'm talking about in the past. I don't want to interfere with any parts of the facts in this case, so I'm just saying in the past. So in the past, marijuana, what else?
And tobacco, that's it.
How old are you?
21.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have three.
3 children at 21. What are their ages?
3, 2, and my daughter's birthday in 2 days. She's gonna be 1.
And this girlfriend, is she the mother of these children?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if you were released from custody, who would you be living with?
My father.
And have you asked him if you could live with him?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is your father's name?
Kevin Wright.
State any other questions?
Yes. Sir, do you have any other prior felony convictions?
I have 1 prior felony conviction.
And what is that?
Discharging firearm in an occupied vehicle.
And is that within Texas or is that,
No, sir, it's not Texas.
where is that at?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
And do you have any other arrests in Las Vegas, Nevada,
No, sir, not that I can remember of.
for marijuana?
I think so.
And any other charges that you were arrested for in Las Vegas that were possibly dismissed?
I can't remember.
Assault?
I guess.
Attempted murder?
I guess so, yes, sir. I think those dismissed though.
So you do remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. And so the charge with, I couldn't hear you. You said discharging a firearm
In an occupied vehicle.
in an occupied vehicle. All right. All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Is there any gang affiliation?
No, no, sir, no, ma'am.
All right. All right, court will hear argument. Defense, it's your motion.
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, first of all, I believe my client will come to court and defend himself on these charges. Judge, he just doesn't have the finances to post a $75,000 bond. I believe the court would do a $25,000 bond. Talking to his parents, they would be able to come up with that. It would certainly it would assist me in his defense if he were out coming to my office, review video and things of that sort. It's a lot easier when someone's out versus when they're in jail. We'd ask the court to consider that also.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. There seems to be no other evidence that this individual or family members has gone to try to obtain a bond on 75,000, and also just the safety of the community, considering its history, state believes $75,000 is appropriate.
All right. The court is considering your history. And also, I recognize that cases were dismissed. When cases are dismissed, they're dismissed. And I know sometimes people will say, where there's smoke, there's fire, but I just deal in facts. I don't know why those cases were dismissed, but they were. So it's not for me, really, I think, to consider dismissed cases. So with that being in mind and with your testimony, the court will order full GPS. If it turns out that he has employment, then the court will reconsider partial for employment purposes. I'll ask that the fees are waived. And you're to reside with Kevin Wright. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And I'll set your bond at 65,000. All right, is there anything else?
That's for the state line.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you can make that sure that he has a reset form for his jury trial, just in case. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna do regular UAs and I'll waive fees as well.
Yeah, we'll be ready to go on November 4th.
All right, thank you. Oh, that's Monica A. Guerrero.
Yes, I observed the prior hearing, yes.
I'm like, wow. They'll give you your belt when you come back.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you all are ready for trial?
It doesn't appear that it will be worked out. And my understanding is whatever sealed sex case that they had, it's standalone, that we have the independent offer that the state's going forward on. And we're not able to resolve this case, so we do need a trial.
All right, so we'll have you guys here at 1:30.
I'll let Monica Goodell know.
All right. Thanks.
This board, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Recommend discussing any details of the case though.
No, it's not. I was.
That's like the song, the singer Lenny. I want to ask you just one thing. All right, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, yes.
Last we were here, it was for actual bond reduction and you asked the state 3 times, so what are they gonna do with this case?
Yeah, with the sealed case. So do you have a bond on the sealed case or no? Oh, well, the reason why is because it hasn't been released. So sealed cases are like, they're not even in existence. So you don't have to make a bond on that one. It hasn't been released. Once it's released, and by released, I mean it's unsealed, and you can see it, there'll be a bond set.
In the other case, I was gonna try to see if I get a bond reduced.
Okay, the only thing you have is the violation.
Yes, that's the only case.
This is the only case. All right, so we'll do a trial on that one. All right, thank you. Court is calling Nightmag number 7555032, State of Texas versus Dirkland Jamone Davy. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Andrew Harris, Edelman.
for the defense?
Monica Anna Guerrero for defendant.
And are you Mr. Davy?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're here. The defense has filed a motion to reinstate bond. All right, and we can go off the record for one moment. We're back on the record. So defense has filed this motion to reinstate bond. State, are you in agreement or no?
In agreement, Your Honor.
All right. Then I will take testimony because I'm the one who issued, well, I think it was Judge Nahara. He had 4 violations. The first violation, Judge Nahara heard, and he gave Mr. Davies 7 days to comply. The second violation report, there was a judge's warrant issued by me with a remand without bond. Then I recalled it because defense attorneys came in and I asked that the warrant be recalled and there be no driving and to continue with the portable device. That was signed by the court on July 30th. Then he had a third violation. And the third violation, there was no response to it because it was from August 9th. And then we have a fourth violation for August 12th, 2024, and that wasn't responded to. So what needs to be addressed are violations 3 and 4, where they're saying he's skipping tests. So does anyone want to address that?
Yes, Your Honor. He did blow on 8/7 and there was alcohol detected. And the skip happened it was at 11:18 PM, April of 0.07. And in between 11:18 and 7:13 AM, the next day when he passed, there was one skipped blow, but there were many in between there. That's on the third violation. Would you like for me to address the fourth? It's a
Yes.
similar situation. So the fourth violation, there was an alcohol detected on the breathalyzer that he blew into on 8/10 at 7:28 PM, and that was 0.14. In between the 5:26 AM the next day when he passed, there were 5 skips. So it was within the same time period that the skip happened. And it is no excuse for him to he was on order not to be drinking alcohol and he had the portable device randomly blowing it. He has been in compliance since he was assigned the device. It's not an excuse, but the circumstances of that week were that his mother-in-law passed away and she was found on their couch. So this is just for the information that this certain circumstance, but he has been in compliance. He made a mistake and is
Choices.
bad choices with consequences. He has been in jail since I believe August of 26, 15 days in jail. He's at risk of losing his job. Now he's a forklift driver. Mr. Davey would just like to get back on track.
I mean, well, does anybody want to address the issue that He's a forklift driver and he's drinking alcohol?
He was fired from his job after the DWI offense, back then, initially, and then since then he was able to obtain another job, but, he does have the mobile breathalyzer. Yeah, I said he has been in compliance with the exception of 8-7 and 8-10 when he blew into the breathalyzer and detected the alcohol.
All right, Officer Leon? All right, so we can't hear you, so if you can chat for me. What is your opinion with regards to Mr. Davy? And what do you feel he needs? And then once she chats to me, you all should be able to see the chat, but if you do not,
Okay,
for purposes of the record, I'll read the chat into the record.
okay.
She doesn't have any recommendations. All right, Officer Leon, is there anything that treatment that can be given to him because he's continuing to drink alcohol? All right. She says there's substance abuse treatment that can be done outpatient. All right, it's obvious to the court that he needs some sort of treatment.
Mr. Davies willing to.
All right, and State, you said you have no objection to reinstating the bond?
Correct, Your Honor.
And I won't call it reinstatement of the bond. I would just call it that I'm going to lift the judge's warrant. All right. So I'm going to lift the judge's warrant then. And Mr. Davy, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Dirkland Davy.
All right, so Mr. Davy, do you have a sober support coach or any of that in place?
Besides my wife.
All right, do you have anybody that you can pick up the phone and call when you think that you're going to drink?
No, ma'am.
All right, so we're gonna make sure that that is corrected. So you're gonna do the in-home breathalyzer. You are not allowed to skip tests. You're not allowed to drink alcohol. If you do, we're gonna have issues. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to add substance abuse treatment outpatient. I'm gonna waive the fees. And I'm gonna want 120 sober support meetings. In 120 days. And I'm going to ask that the judge's warrant be recalled. Is there anything else that you need to help you be successful and not drink alcohol? All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, if there's an issue, we can go off the record, Mr. Davy. If there's ever an issue, what you need to do is pick up the phone and call whoever your sober support coach is, call your attorney. If you can't get in touch with anybody, you can come here and I will direct you to a place that can help you with your alcohol abuse. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and Officer Leon, does he need to contact you today or as soon as he's released?
So because he's gonna be going to substance abuse.
Oh, if you can put it in the chat box, please. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
The, in the DWI pending in County Court 7, the warrant lifted the warrant will also, we won't have any problem with that.
That's a separate court.
Okay, I'll go.
All right, let me see. All right, so you're going to be transferred to another officer, and if you can coordinate that, and let me, I will give you, I need to keep your violation report number 4. They'll be able to print a copy to
okay.
you. But he's going to be transferred to another officer who works with people who have substance abuse problems. All right. And if you need more help with your substance abuse issues, there's no shame for asking for it. Okay.
Well, it got a little better
All right.
since.
And if you need any therapy with psychiatrists or whatever, just ask. Sometimes it's better to talk to a stranger. Okay. All right. Thank you for zooming in, Officer Leon. And you can have a seat back in the box and I'll write this order out and they'll give you copies.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.